30?
Does that look all right?
Okay. Wrap it up. Or this. Shut up and move on. Hello, ladies. Got food there for you. Grab some lunch.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Well done, drinking. If I need to text that she's calling.
I think it's comfortable. Yeah.
you go to my trunk? I didn't know if I could well. I didn't know that. It's either in my back seat or my trunk. You'll see it's in these.
And good day, everybody, and welcome to the Regional Radio Sports Network as we get set for the 21st Annual Northwest Indiana Boys and Girls High School and Collegiate Soccer Season here at Hallmark Sports Club 2 in Maryville, Indiana. We're located at 8328 Colorado Street. We're going to be here for an 8-hour marathon today as we're going to be interviewing coaches and players from not only the high school but as well as the collegiate ranks here in Northwest Indiana. So glad you could join us. Mike Knezovich here along with the rest of the Regional Radio Sports Network crew. Pat Doherty is going to be handling some of the social media and behind the scenes items out here today. Adam Demery will also be conducting some of the interviews. Tony Miller doing a great job with the camera and making sure that all of us stay on time, which is a very, very tall task, no doubt about that. Special thanks go out to Scott Hankins and the folks here at Hallmark Sports Club 2. It's your soccer home for the winter. Hallmark operates indoor soccer leagues for kids, teens, and adults from October through April. League registration opens September the 15th with adult leagues starting on October the 16th and youth and high school leagues starting November 1st weekend. See the Hallmark Sports Clubs 2 website for details at www.hallmarksportsclubii.com, hallmarksportsclub2.com. Hallmark remains Northwest Indiana's soccer hub through your off season, so get in here and play. I want to thank Scott and his staff, Jason Kandera and everybody for their great hospitality throughout the years here with the Northwest Indiana Soccer Kickoff Show. Also, thanks go out to J&J's Pizza Shack. They're going to be providing the pie as well as the soda for all the student athletes throughout the show here. And for great tasting pizza, you must try J&J's Pizza Shack. They're located at 1454 West Lincoln Way, 1 mile west of the square in Valparaiso. They offer a variety of great tasting pizza, including their famous kitchen sink. Did you have pizza yesterday? Their menu also includes sandwiches, seafood, rib, chicken dinners, and salads. Dine-in, carry-out, and delivery is available in the local area. So for delivery, give J&J's Pizza Shack a call at 476-1616. That's 476-1616. Same menu, still great taste. So thanks again to J&J's for supplying the pie, for Hallmark Sports Club 2, doing a great job with us here in our partnership with us. And also big kudos go out to our corporate partner for today's event, and that's Calumet College of St. Joseph. They're your university of choice and the region home for Crimson Wave athletics. Men's and women's soccer along with cross country, volleyball, and CCSJ's nationally ranked bowling teams will be in full action during the fall season. Follow all 18 Crimson Wave teams year-round by going to their website at www.crimsonwaveathletics.com. So I want to thank them. We also have a couple other partners that we'll talk about. Keep in mind that throughout the day we are going to have Chicago Fire trivia for you all day long. We've got tickets to give away for 6 games today, and you'll be able to reach us here. Give us a call. You can text us 219-746-1070. That's 219-746-1070. Let us know the correct answer, and we'll make sure that we get you tickets to a Chicago Fire game this particular season. But right now, it's time. We're going to bring on the folks from Calumet College of St. Joseph. They're going to join us out here. Also, keep in mind that the 2014 Indiana Football Digest is out, fresh off the presses. IndianaFootballDigest.com, $15 cover price. We donate a portion of the cover price back to each high school that participates participates with us as partners, and we'll talk about more of that as we go along. But right now we're going to bring on Justin Olson as well as Tara Ellis and Nick Schultz are going to join us here with our first segment from CCSJ. And, Coach, welcome on board, and give us an idea how the summer's going for you so far.
Well, thank you very much for having us. It's definitely been a long off season. We've been racking the roads on the recruiting trails for both the men's team and the women's team, and we were able to bring in Coach Tara here from Valparaiso University to help us out on the women's side, and we're very excited about that. We just started training about 2 weeks ago, so we're 2 weeks in. We have our first set of games next week, and really excited to get back out on the soccer field.
We talked a little bit before the broadcast about the recruiting trail, and you certainly have been doing that not only here locally but globally as well.
Yeah, we dipped into the international pool a little bit. We brought in 4 girls from Australia for the women's team and then one guy, a goalkeeper from Australia as well. We got hooked up with this recruiting company out there, and they've been very good to us, and we're very excited to see what they do this season.
Also see Serbia in there as well as the UK, so obviously the reach of the program, not only from the standpoint of on the field but also academics, is catching a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah, absolutely, and my personal belief as a coach is I definitely want to bring in a lot of kids from this region because this is a very, very good area for soccer, and it's also good from a diversity standpoint to bring in people outside the area, whether it's here in the United States or overseas. And Nick will tell you it's been a nice kind of team dynamic to have different cultures, and the guys really learn a lot from each other.
I talked to you a little bit before coming on about the fact that it's almost like Lake Central and Portage West, so to speak, over there in Whiting a little bit.
It could, yeah, a little bit. On the men's side, obviously Lake Central's had a lot of success within the last 5-6 years with how far they've been able to go downstate, and a lot of those guys are friends, and I would recruit one player, and then they're like, hey, I got this friend, and it just kind of trickled down, and they've been a breath of fresh air for us, and they all work extremely hard. Coach Rainwater's done a great job of getting those guys prepared for the next level, and we're very excited to have them here.
Tara, of course, a great player over at Portage High School for many years, and now moving into the coaches' ranks. Talk about that transition, and is that something that's been on your radar ever since getting out of high school, or is it something that just kind of developed?
It's kind of something that just developed. I was actually going to go to grad school right after I was done at Valparaiso University. And I've had a few setbacks, but I'm reapplying this summer. And Justin just approached me and was asking if I wanted to come on staff. And I thought it was a really great opportunity. And everything I've learned from VU, I hope I can put into this team as well.
What kind of adjustments do you think you're going to have to make as far as dealing with the student athletes after being a player on the pitch for so long?
Well, definitely finding my voice as a coach is definitely going to be something. I definitely had a voice as a center back. I had to kind of develop that coming into my senior year, and just taking a step back from, still personally relating with the players, but in a more coaching manner than on a personal level as a player.
How tough is that going to be for you sometimes if you see something that you don't like out there?
It may be a little difficult, but I think I'll be able to adjust just fine.
Yeah, just have to kind of tone it down maybe a little bit from
Exactly.
I know you're a very intense player, in between the sidelines and stuff. And Nick Schultz is going to join us as well, also kind of keeping with that Indians theme that we talked about before. And you also got Brendan Mulrow, who's a part of the program. So how's things been going for you, Nick, as far as the off season and getting ready for the new year?
It's pretty good. We've been training pretty hard and stuff. I think we should have a good season. The guys looking good. We're pretty much fit and everything. Just excited to get out there and play.
How big was it to make the tournament and be able to compete at that level and gain that kind of experience as you went from the regular season into the postseason?
It was definitely something special. I know what it's like to not be in it and to be in it, but I would love to be playing as long as possible. We know what it's like. We just want to get there again, see what we can do.
What was that experience like for you as far as the different level of competition from, obviously the conference schedule is very challenging as you're going through the regular season, but then obviously things are kind of stepped up a little bit more in the postseason.
Yeah, everything's just more tense. Anything can happen. Anyone can win. And I think this year we definitely have a good shot of getting farther than we did last year.
What have been some of the adjustments that you've had to make from the high school game up to college, not only the game itself, but also dealing with the academic rigors and balancing everything?
Well, I've had to take time off work, to keep up with school and everything. But overall, it hasn't been too much of a transition for me. Just keep doing what I do.
What's it like playing for this guy?
It's fun. There's never a dull moment with him.
I guess I'll take that as a compliment, right, Coach?
Yeah.
Let's size up the men's team here a little bit as far as who you got coming back. You did lose a great deal of senior leadership off this team, but as you mentioned with the recruiting, and you've got a nice mix of different classes in there.
Yeah, we had a very good captain the last couple of years in Matt Plowecki from Griffith, and it's certainly sad to see him go. And, this opens up the door for other younger players to step up and learn how to be a leader and accept those responsibilities. And the strength of this team has always been our youth. I mean, we had some good upperclassmen last year, but most of my starting 11 are pretty much freshmen and sophomores. And, these guys are starting to come up the ranks now, and we're really going to be at our best. In terms of the last 4 or 5 years, this will be the best group we've had in a long time. I'm really excited.
That's really amazing that you've got that youth coming in, in the starting lineup. How do you think that's going to affect some of the upperclassmen? Obviously, sometimes there's a little bit of resentment there, a younger player stepping in and,
Sure.
Taking their starting role. You got guys out there that are team players that are going to help and kind of mentor the younger players?
Yeah, and one thing that I can really say about this group, and Nick will definitely agree, is they're always very welcoming. I mean, even the upperclassmen, when Nick came in as a freshman, there was never any, these guys are here to take our spots. I mean, it's college soccer. We're going to put the best group on the field. We had a kid from Chesterton last year. He came in and had 14 goals in 18 games, and he did take the spot of 2 seniors. But how can you argue when he's scoring goals and we're getting results? And they get that. They're adults, and everyone on the team has a role, whether you're starting, whether you're pushing the guy that's in front of you, whether you're cheering your team on. Whatever your role is, everybody has one.
Yeah, that was Nick Barango that Coach Osum was talking about there. 14 goals in 18 games. Him and Felipe Garcia da Silva also getting all-conference second-team honors, Coach. And that's a great thing, not only for the individual student-athletes, but for the program as well.
Yeah, and I was a little disappointed to see. I mean, you have a kid who's second in the conference, and he gets second team. And 2 of the forwards that made first team above him had like 6 or 7 goals less than he did. So from a statistic standpoint, I was disappointed to see that. But, it's definitely a step in the right direction. He is a freshman. He's got 3 years left to play, and that just motivates him more.
I was going to say, that's probably a little bit of bulletin board material there, a little motivation for him.
He's a great kid, great attitude, and we're lucky to have him.
Tara, what have you seen out there on the pitch so far that's impressed you?
Well, the camaraderie of the team is awesome. Preseason, all their fitness tests and everything, they worked really hard. On the field, I actually got to play a few times with them, so that was fun. At first at center mid, so that was kind of an adjustment since I haven't played that since high school. But they've definitely made an improvement since the beginning of preseason up till now, and I think we're ready for our game this coming Wednesday. Anybody
open your eyes and say, especially the younger players, or anybody really that you kind of caught your eye and said, listen, this could really be a player that could really make things happen this year?
Rebecca Berry from Australia. We just brought her in. She's great. She's definitely going to be a little spitfire, I think, up top for us. And Patty, she, I think, is going to do great in the center back or center midfield
Is
role.
that Tuxford from Oak Lawn?
Diaz, Patty Diaz.
Oh, Diaz.
Yeah, we have
okay.
2 Patties. So,
okay,
yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she's great. As a center back, I just saw a lot of potential in her. She can read the field really well and picks off balls very often.
Terrific. Coach, I know Peter Hayes-Herring is not here today, but we want to talk a little bit also about just the overall athletic program over at CCSJ as well. Obviously, the men's and women's program being represented out here today, but there's also a lot of other options for student athletes, not only in Northwest Indiana, but nationwide as well as worldwide.
Yeah, we have a lot of opportunities, for golfers, softball, baseball, basketball, tennis. it's a good level, and our conference is very competitive across the board with all of our sports. And I think sometimes, we are in the Whiting area, and people don't always realize we're out there. But then once they get there and they see our facilities, our baseball and our softball field is beautiful. They're a couple years old. Our soccer field is fantastic. And once they get over there and they see everything, we've had a pretty good success rate as far as bringing them in. Peter Herring's been a great supporter of all of our athletic programs. Obviously, I began my career at Cal working under Peter as his assistant, and then when he transitioned into the athletic director role, he's been nothing but supportive, and we're lucky to have a leader like him.
Well, we certainly would love to be able to come out there and do a couple games, so I'll make sure I put the bug out over there with Peter and try to get out there. And again, thanks very much for everything you do for us, as well as the college being a great partner, and we will talk to CCSJ a little bit later on in the show.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
Justin Olson, Tara Ellis, Nick Schultz, all from CCSJ joining us over here. And Calumet College of St. Joseph's has the lowest tuition of any private college in Indiana. It offers traditional programs with flexible class schedules, accelerated programs to help adults earn their bachelor's degree in as little as 12 months, and master's programs specifically designed for working adults. Some classes are also offered at the University Center in Portage. Make CCSJ your university of choice. For more information, call 219-473-4215 or check out their website at ccsj.edu. We're going to bring on the Munster Mustangs, and Jim Persopoulos is going to join us out of the Northwest Crossroads Conference. And, Coach, as we talked about before, obviously certainly a very heavy heart situation in the off season for the Munster program with the youth programs and the passing of Matt Kaufman. And I'd like to just touch base on that a little bit and the way the kids rallied around a very difficult situation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's it's a tough situation when you look and you see anyone's father pass away, or mother for them, or anybody, because we're all part of a soccer family, and it's not just the players, it's the parents also, and grandparents, and we had actually a tournament that weekend to go to, Pike tournament, and people at Pike were awesome. They adjusted things for us. We were able to get a couple games in Saturday, and we just told them, hey, we're not coming Sunday because we're going to be there for Brett and his family at the funeral. And I was thoroughly impressed by the team and their commitment to their teammate, Brett Kaufman.
Yeah, and the young man now going to be a junior here. How's he doing? And, going through such a very difficult situation. And you had mentioned about just the dedication that he had shown, obviously to his family, but also to your program as well.
Yeah, that entire week, he still came to practice on Tuesday and Thursday, and his dad had passed on Friday. And, you just don't know what to say as a coach. It's you don't want to interfere. You don't want to tell somebody what to do. People handle things in different ways, and you sort of just go with it. And he seems to be handling it okay. He's a pretty quiet kid, very humble kid, hard worker. And, and so and I try to ask him every now and then how he's doing. And the answer is, I'm okay, hanging in there. They're trying to make the best of it as a family. So we'll be there for them no matter what, so that's what we're all about.
Well, the Munster soccer community certainly is a great support system for him as well as for the Kaufman family. So, again, kudos go out to the entire community for coming up and supporting him in a very difficult situation. And, Coach, 18 years, you talked about it a little bit before coming on the air. Can you believe it's been that long, and does it ever get old?
I was trying to think, is it going to be my 17th or 18th year? I'm getting to that point, I think, where I can't even remember.
I had you at 17, so.
Yeah, so wherever I'm at, so at this point. You know what, it's been great. I've been blessed to be able to coach at a school where, we have nice facilities, and we have good support from our administration and the community with the parents and these kids that have come through the door may not always be like the greatest soccer talented kids, but they are great kids, and you can coach them, and that's all you want as a coach, is to be able to for these kids to let you coach them and let them teach. I just want to be able to teach them what I know, and this is what this team is about this year. We've really rallied together this summer, and these kids are so coachable and want to do well, and so I'm very pleased so far with this team.
And, of course, last season, no exception, as you end up tied for first in the conference, 12 conference championships, those 2 regionals when you broke through in 06 and 08, and the 12 sectionals in a row, the most in the state coming into that season. What's been the common thread, besides yourself, obviously, that has really held the program together and has allowed it to be successful for such a long time?
Well, like I said a moment ago, having kids like Dean and Michael that are here, kids like that come through the door, and just having great kids come in. I know every coach says that, but there's always a year in there in between. Sometimes where you have a difficult group maybe, but it hasn't really been like that. It's these teams have been golden. I mean, they've been fun to coach, and that's why I keep on doing it.
Okay, besides the 2 young men that you brought out here, let's talk about some of the other kids. Obviously, you got some experience coming back between the pipes. You're going to be getting some experience back in the forward position that we talked about with Brett, getting him back to his natural position. And you've also got 3 of the 4 coming back in the mid and 2 of the 4 coming back in the back.
Oh, definitely. We have 22 guys on varsity now, and we can start at 11 and start at second 11 and almost not miss a beat. That's the first time I've been able to say that in all these years. I mean, that's
saying something for this program.
I'm pretty confident with this team. Can't make predictions or anything like that. It's a little bit of luck, and you just have to still work hard, and these kids understand that. So, we have goalkeeping-wise, we have Xavier Hofferth, we have Emmanuel Soto. Emmanuel was in there to help us get that sectional championship. So we have a backup keeper. Xavier will probably be the starter, but Emmanuel will back him up, and there's good competition there at least. Mm-hmm. Defensively, we have about 8 guys that can defend. We have about 8 guys that can mix it up in the midfield, and a few guys up top. And we can get a little creative this year with the formations that we play too. And I have the personnel, I have the kids that can adjust to that, and that's awesome.
Introduce the 2 young men that you brought out here to represent the program today and your expectations for them.
Yeah, I've got Dean Svolos next to me here. He's going to be one of our center backs this year, one of our leaders of our team. And the good thing about this team, we have a lot of leaders. So, Dean's going to be playing a big part on our team. He was instrumental even in off season, along with Michael, when we were doing some weightlifting, weight training. Those guys are always there, and they're very committed. Dean's very committed, and he's going to be a big part of our defense this year.
Let's bring on Dean right now. And Dean, coming into the senior season, what have been some of the adjustments you've had to make going from the fullback position to the center back? It's a little bit different look there, and you're going to be right in front of your keeper as the last line of defense for the Mustangs.
Luckily for me, I was playing between next to Ricky Delgado last year, who helped me gain a lot of experience, and I kind of knew going into last year that I would probably have to move into a center back position my senior year. So going with that, I just looked up to him and watched the way he played while also just trying to make myself better.
I would imagine that the conditioning this year has been a little bit easier for you guys. We really haven't had those 90, 95 degree days. Touch base on that and how you guys have been able. How do you guys see the fitness level right now of the team?
I think going in from the off season, doing our weight training, and we've also on just not when we don't have practice, have gone to the park and have done stuff on our own. Also has given us a step ahead of other teams and has just helped us grow together as a team.
Where's that coming from? Is that coming from the senior class, kind of giving coach some extra eyes and ears on the field to help out the younger kids?
Our senior class this year, we've been playing together since we were very little, and we're a very close-knit group, friends on and off the field. So we wanted to gain that success together, and we've been saying this for a long time. So now that it's our time, we kind of want to just make the best of it.
Outstanding. And Michael Portone is going to join us as well. He's also entering his senior season. And, Michael, let's touch base a little bit on the midfield. You lose Dimitri, who was a big goal scorer for you guys, and also Nick, who kind of went back and forth a little bit from the front to the back. But how do you see the midfield shaping up for you guys?
Well, the midfield looks fantastic. We've got a really strong midfield. We now have Kyriakos Soukalis in the middle, which is probably replacing Dimitri Georgalis, who's just a young kid, really full of energy, really knows how to give out the ball. And with me on the outside mid, he's perfect for me. Really quick, gives me perfect passes and everything I really need in a young player, and he's going to be here for another 2 years, which is also special for our club.
You've been working a little bit on those crosses, both legs on both sides to possibly switch up the defenses?
Yeah, of course. Just throwing in anything I possibly can do to screw up the defense.
What do you think are some of the major things you're going to have to work on to advance now into your senior year, not only from a leadership standpoint, but also tactically on the field?
Well, as a team, we all obviously need to put the ball in the back of the net. That's how you win games. But as an individual standpoint, I do think I should probably work on both feet so I can be more of a dynamic threat on each side, and coach, I can be more flexible for him as well as everybody should be. And that's basically what anybody needs to do.
What is playing for Coach Persopoulos like?
What isn't it? It's awesome. We have a great team, and just also a great coach with our great team, and you couldn't ask for anything else.
Yeah, and of course the success certainly speaks for itself with the multiple conference championships. And speaking of the conference, Coach, let's analyze a little bit how you see things shaping up. Obviously, the NWCC always very challenging for the Mustangs.
Yeah, I say this every year that it honestly, I mean, you can at the beginning of the year look at the teams and see how they stack up, and you would think one team has an advantage, but next thing you know, just from the coaches that have coached in our conference, the coaches are still there. It always seems to end up being a 2-1, where you're barely squeaking it out, or a tie going into a shootout or something. We had a situation last year with Griffith. It was the same way, where we had to take it into overtime and we barely squeaked by there. And you would have thought on paper, that's why nothing means anything on paper until you work hard, that we would have beat them. I'm just proud of this team so far, and I hope we keep it up. And so our motto is really, to do the right thing at the right time. That's really our motto. And so in everything that we do, as a soccer player, as a student, do the right thing at the right time, keep a level head, and just work hard. And that's all I ask for these kids. That's all I've ever asked. Stay humble and don't brag.
Continued success, guys. Thanks for coming out. We appreciate it. Best of luck to you guys. The Northwest Crossroads Conference is certainly going to offer some challenges, and Munster always plays a very difficult non-conference schedule as well. They're going to be heading down to Pike for the tournament down there in September, also to Zionsville at the Zionsville Classic. Castle, along with Evansville Harrison, are going to be the competition for them down there. And again, thanks very much to Calumet College of St. Joseph's. They're our corporate partner throughout the day today. They're your university of choice and the region home for Crimson Wave Athletics, men's and women's soccer, cross country, volleyball, and CCSJ's nationally ranked bowling teams will be in full action during the fall season. You can follow all 18 Crimson Wave teams year-round by going to the website at www.crimsonwaveathletics.com. Stay tuned later on in the video cast. We're going to be giving away Chicago Fire tickets. We've got 6 games with tickets to give away, and we're going to do that with some trivia contests, so keep it locked right here at rrsn.com. But we are going to bring on Courtney Condis right now. She's the assistant coach sitting in for Gordon Walker today. And, Coach, thanks very much for taking the time out of your schedule. And how are things going for the Trojans here in the preseason?
Yeah, things are going really well. We had a really good summer, really big numbers, so we had to make a few cuts this year. But the kids, their conditioning, everything like that went really well. We had a few scrimmages throughout the summer, and so we're excited for the season and for where they're gonna take us mid-season and postseason as well.
Now, that's kind of a double-edged sword for both you and Gordon and having the numbers, because, first of all, you got to make those cuts, which can be heartbreaking to kids, no doubt about that. But then you got to deal with playing time situations. Now, on the other hand, you guys are now able to scrimmage against each other. So talk about those situations and how it could benefit you guys in the long run.
Yeah, the negative, it is hard to do, to those kids that are out there all summer and putting in an effort, but to make those cuts, it's a hard thing, but we appreciate their effort. The positive side, though, like you said, it is good. My numbers for JV are up as well. We had a big freshman class, and so that will be good for even competition for some of the older kids for positions as well. Kids competing for positions is always good. Gives them a little bit of motivation, for that season, for that spot, that varsity spot. So it's a good thing.
Now, I would imagine that one of the things that Gordon and yourself are working on is maybe some offense production. You guys have always had great defensive teams, have had great keepers, and tremendous in the back. What can you guys do to possibly improve on the offensive side of things and get over the hump on a lot of those 1-0 and 2-1 games?
Right. We're actually excited. A couple of the freshmen that came in have a lot of speed, so we're excited for the speed that we're going to have up front. We're going to be working with them a little bit, but we also have awesome defense, like you said, and we're going to work with the center mids and the outside mids as well. The center mids are young, but they're going to control the speed of the game and hopefully distribute the ball well to those forwards. And we always tell them as well, they're going to have to shoot as well. So opportunities for the midfield to put the ball in the back of the net and to feed the ball to those forwards. So.
Touch base on the sophomore class. You got quite a bit of numbers there in that particular class.
Right. We are quite young. We have 4 solid seniors, a handful of juniors that'll be, crossovers and things like that. But we do. Our sophomore class last year helped us out a lot, and it'll be even better this year with some varsity experience and bringing in those few freshmen. We might be young, but I think we're going to be very competitive.
Very good. And you brought 2 young ladies with you here to represent the program. I'd like to introduce both of them and let me know what your expectations that you and Gordon are expecting from them this year.
Okay. We got Kelsey Dyer on my right and Kelly Dempsey over there on the left. One of our defensive backs and our center mid. So she's one of the older center mids working with those underclassmen. So we expect a lot of leadership from them and a lot of positivity there, and they have a lot of experience in those varsity games, so it'll be good.
Kelsey, let's start off with you in the back line. How are things going as far as your communication with the keepers back there? Highland has always had great keepers in between the pipes, and kind of give us an idea the back line, how that's shaping up for you guys this year.
Things are going really well this season. It's definitely going to be a change because Kelly Lee, who was our goalkeeper last year, she graduated, and we definitely relied on her back at goalkeeper. But we have Jess Whiting and Allison Brown this season who are definitely stepping up, and they've gotten a lot better throughout the summer. And I'm just really excited to see what's going to happen this season.
Are you guys kind of vocal back there as far as your leadership and communication, or is it more like just kind of showing things by example back there in the back third?
We're definitely vocal.
Coaches at nodding in agreement with you.
It's primarily me and Emma Bowney, who she plays sweeper, and it's mainly the two of us that are trying to help be vocal and help keep plays going. And yeah.
Who's in camp? Who has really kind of opened your eyes and said, "Wow, that where'd that come from?" And that was just a terrific move, and really looking forward to playing with that person down the road.
There's actually a lot of people. I've been really impressed with the sophomore class because they've definitely gotten a lot better since last season. Because last season when they were freshmen, they were kind of unexperienced, but now that they have that varsity experience, they're definitely more confident and playing really well together. I'm
going to turn over to Kelly Dempsey right now, and Kelly, welcome to the show, and senior year this season. So talk about that transition and becoming one of the leaders on this team. Are you a leader by example, or more of a vocal, get in your face, pick it up type of a leader?
I would say a little bit of both. I like to vocalize to my team to tell them what they can improve on and how I could help them, and then I also try to show them what they could do better, or if they need any help, that they could always come to me as a senior and as one of their leaders.
Talk about the transition going from a team that had a lot of veteran leadership about 3 or 4 years ago and a lot of success to more of a younger team and kind of coming through the ranks and the tradition of Highland soccer that you grew up with, and coming off an 8-8 season, trying to possibly move deeper in the playoffs and also do better in the conference.
Yeah, it was really tough, but I think as we all have that experience that we could all learn better as a team. We're a lot closer. We have more team chemistry. It just takes that 1 or 2 years to actually get comfortable with everybody and how everyone plays. So we know where everyone's at, what they're really good at.
What have been some of the adjustments you had to make to be able to excel both in the classroom as well as on the field of play?
Well, in the classroom, I definitely had to study and work hard to get those good grades and everything. And then on the field, I really, now that I am a leader, I have to work on trying to make sure that people could trust me in there and not letting those loose balls go, or actually running and trying to work hard and trying to get those wins and those balls up to the forward so they could score, and definitely being there so they know that they could trust me if they ever have to pass backwards, that I will be there and it won't go any further than that.
Now, Coach was mentioning that you got great numbers. You've got a lot of depth on this team, which will certainly help out in scrimmages. What about the younger kids? What have you seen from them? Everybody, a lot of the kids now are so much more, from a talent level, a lot more advanced just because of club soccer and everything. But what about the attitude? What about the fact when the seniors are looking to lead? You're dragging, you're tired, you're down at that end of the day, and you don't want to do that last sprint. What about that?
Well, they have stepped up a lot. I mean that, both freshmen and the sophomores and even the juniors. And sometimes they get a little lazy, but they need that extra voice that say keep going, one more lap, the game's almost over, you need that extra 5 seconds left, or that extra sprint that you have. And they like hearing that from us and knowing that we could give it to them. But they've stepped up a lot, and I'm proud of all of them.
Outstanding. And Coach, of course, you got to kind of wear a couple different hats here, because you're the head JV coach, and then you go and be more of a associate to Gordon on the varsity end of things. Talk about that transition and doing that, and what does Gordon have you do during the different drills that the varsity team is participating in?
Yeah, well, I love working with Gordon. This is going to be our 10th season together, so that's exciting. And on the practice level, usually I take my team side, he takes his team side. We need to work on specific things. I might work on more technical, footwork, things like that, and he's going to work more, game speed, kind of decision-making type drills and things like that. But he does every decision that needs to be made. We talk it out, and, he's very, very good about asking me my opinion and things like that. So that's been a great experience. So I've loved having that opportunity to coach with him. And we actually this year have Kelly's older sister, Shannon Dempsey, who played with us during the semi-state, those years, those good years. And she's actually helping volunteering, working with the goalies, working with me, and just for experience. But so an added adult there is even better too.
Oh, especially with someone that had that kind of success with the program, no doubt about that. But so how do you see the conference shaping up? It seems like each year there's, of course, a core group of grads that are going to move on and younger kids that are coming on. How do you see the NWCC shaping up?
It's always a tough conference. Munster's always has a tough team, and they will be tough again. I think we could definitely be competitive. That's one of our goals, is to win, or at least be competitive in the conference. And it's been a few years since we've had that, but I really do think that's one of our goals. And then obviously throughout the season, come postseason, hopefully we'll be ready to go even further then.
Coach Condas, thanks again for everything. We appreciate it. Make sure you give our best to Gordon. And
will do. Ladies,
have a terrific season this year, and thanks for coming by.
All right,
we appreciate it.
Us.
Courtney Condas joining us here from the Highland Trojans girls soccer team. They're going to be playing, again, a very competitive schedule, and things don't start off very easily, as they're going to be hosting Chris Mikerit's Crown Point Bulldogs on Thursday, August the 21st. And we are going to have our first Chicago Fire trivia question here, and this is an opportunity to get 4 tickets for the game tomorrow and they're going to be playing New York over at Toyota Park in Bridgeview. And here is the question. We're not going to make them real tough here, so they should be pretty easy for you. The question is, who is the former Fighting Irish of Notre Dame that is now on the Chicago Fire and playing very well for the Fire? So, again, you can call us at 219-746-1070. You can text us and let us know what the answer is. And the first person that can come up with the correct answer will be able to get those 4 tickets for tomorrow's game over at Toyota Park in Bridgeview as the Chicago Fire host New York. And don't miss your chance to get your fix of live Major League Soccer this year. The Chicago Fire soccer team has just 6 home games remaining, and the 2014 regular season. See the men in red take on Thierry Henry and Tim Cahill's New York Red Bulls on Sunday, August 2nd, or 10th. That would be tomorrow, or FC Dallas on Saturday, August the 30th. Tickets are available by calling 888 MLS Fire or online at chicago-fire.com. The Chicago Fire live at Toyota Park in Bridgeview. Chicago Fire is Chicago Soccer. Chicago Soccer is Chicago Fire. We're going to bring on Patrick McCoy. He's the new head coach over at LaPorte High School on the boys' side. And, Coach, thanks, and welcome to Northwest Indiana Soccer. I know you've been around for a while, but now you're going to be the head man.
That's right. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys making the long trip over from LaPorte, and give us an idea about the numbers and obviously a team that's got a lot of experience coming back.
That's right. We've had over 50 guys come out for the team this year, and we have quite a few returning seniors this year as well as juniors. A pretty good mix amongst the four classes.
Situation where you have to worry a little bit about playing time. It's kind of a double-edged sword when you have, that amount of veteran leadership coming back. So touch base on that and divvying up the playing time and making sure that everybody stays on the same page.
Yeah, you're right. It's a tough spot for a lot of guys. We've got really probably 20 guys fighting for 11 spots, and so it's a good problem to have as a coach.
Oh yeah.
But,
absolutely.
Makes it a little bit tough on the kids because they know it's competitive.
Right. Well, I would imagine the scrimmages lately have been pretty competitive.
Yeah, I think we've had some of the most competitive practice sessions going into this season as we've had in the past, for sure.
Well, John Aaron is certainly one young man that is 16 games played last season, 19 goals and 5 assists for him, and you've got some other offensive firepower coming back as well. Yeah,
John certainly is our goal scorer, and he's looking good this preseason. We got a lot of goals last year, and we expect the same out of him again this year. That's one of the things we really need to work on from a supporting him standpoint. Is we've got a lot of guys that hit the score sheet last year with a couple goals, but we do need to get some guys to step up, and we need more than just have one threat.
Right.
And there are several guys that are looking like they'd be able to help us score this year.
How has he been able to handle that? Because a lot of teams will, mark up on the top forward and striker for the opposing team and maybe play a little bit of physical play right around the 18 and inside the box area. So how has he been able to handle that and kind of being the marked man for the Slicers?
Yeah, he experienced that quite a bit even last year as a sophomore. So he's used to it. And again, as a team, that's one of the things we need to work on is how to use John when he is getting man marked, and how that also frees up other guys.
So how has it been for you transitioning from on the staff to now being the head coach, and also getting more involved now one-on-one with the student athletes, and really being the person that's kind of guiding the program and moving things forward for the Black and Orange?
Well, I'll tell you, it's been a privilege to be an assistant for the past 5 years, and I've learned a lot. But it's also a pretty easy job to be an assistant coach, which
right.
So I'm finding out some of the things that I didn't have to worry about before,
like dealing with these guys. Right?
Well, yeah, that's right. And it's a lot of responsibility, it's a lot of time, and there's a lot of behind the scenes things that I didn't, have to take care of before.
Right.
But as far as the game and the coaching and the players, I was able to be involved quite a bit in the past. So, again, I'm fortunate that I had the experience of being able to be the assistant. So, if this was my first year as a head coach, I'd have a lot to learn. But
what did you learn from Chris?
Chris was really good, a good coach, good knowledge of the game, good with management of the players, and certainly all the back office stuff, that he took care of everything. So I'm very fortunate to have worked with Chris for many years.
Introduced the two young men that you brought here, Carter and Josh, and what your expectations are for them coming up in 2014.
Yeah, Carter Huber here on the right is our returning captain, returning starting goalkeeper, and has had a couple of great years in high school and this really should be a very good year for Carter.
And Josh?
Josh here on the left, that's my youngest son, and also a returning varsity player, returning captain, central midfield type guy, and a leader on the field. And again, should be a good year for both these guys this year.
We're going to bring on Josh McCoy right now, and obviously, Josh, the first question is, what's it like playing for Dad, and how do you take the hat off from LaPorte soccer and then go to home life in the McCoy household?
It's really fun playing for my dad. I think we're able to separate the home and the field life pretty well. We don't let it get in our way family-wise, and yeah.
And it's nice to have him around,
nice.
right?
Yeah, it's really
I
nice.
know. I experienced that with my son as well with baseball, and it's a blast. And it's just one of those things you just have to kind of separate it out. And it's always nice to have Dad around. There's no doubt about that. And what about the aspect of being a student athlete? You've obviously been able to step up to the forefront of that with a 3.8 grade point average, and just the time management, not only of coaches' expectations on the field, but also your teachers as well as LaPorte High School.
Right. Again, it's about separating the field and the school life. Sometimes we have to bring homework on the bus and do it there. Sometimes it's before a game. It's hard, but we do our best, and I think we do it pretty well.
How important was it for you and Carter over here to see the success that you guys had back in 2008 and the advancement to get the program to the next level and to be able to follow in the footsteps of those student athletes that played before at LaPorte?
It's pretty important. We definitely learned a lot from the older guys ahead of us. We've taken a lot of that to the field now and put it to practice.
Carter Huber is going to join us as well. Pick up that microphone there, Carter. And you're, of course, the last line of the defense for this team. All-conference performer, all-area honorable mention, two-year captain, and the team MVP. And, Carter, what's it like to be a keeper? What's it like to be between the pipes and the last line of defense on a soccer team?
Honestly, I really enjoy it. It's a spot, obviously, where I can see the entire field, and I take the positioning and communication, keeping the defense in line, just as important as the big saves. As a keeper, I really try to focus on keeping everyone in line and avoiding those shots, because trying to cut down on the shots, it's less saves for me, less chances for the other team.
Absolutely. And I ask this to the keepers every year during the show. Shootouts. I mean, that's got to be a really interesting situation, the mental part of the game, the physical part of the game. Take us through that whole scenario. What are some of the things you're looking for, both from a mental and physical standpoint, to try to stop somebody point blank like that?
Going into shootouts, obviously everyone's exhausted, especially going through extra time.
Good
so
point.
You're already dealing with fatigue, mental fatigue and physical fatigue, being back there and talking and making saves. So coming into it, you really just have to take a deep breath and set yourself up again, refocus, and get back in the game. From the start, it's luck, it's reading the players, and those big saves, they come, and you have to make them. But it's the one time where the keeper's really focused on as an individual, and it's hard to say where they're going to go, but it's just about reading the players and really staying focused in there.
How's the back line shaping up for you guys?
Fantastic. A lot of returners, Jake Tobar, Casey Cornett, two guys that were in the back line quite often, as well as Joe McLennan last year with us, and guys that I've played with for a long time. So we communicate well back there. We always figure out problems and stay organized, and should come together very well.
Well, Coach, you certainly have two well-spoken young men with you out here today, and the schedule, as usual, is daunting with the Duneland Athletic Conference, one of the top conferences not only in the area but in the state. You've got the Blazers from Elkhart Central coming in. Comment on the DAC as well as the very tough non-conference schedule that you guys are playing this year.
Yeah, sure. We've had a tough schedule for the last several years. We don't really have any easy games. Our DAC conference is, like you say, it's one of the toughest around, and every game is a fight.
Well, thanks very much, Coach. We'll look forward to touching base with you throughout the season. Make sure you give my best to Chris as well as the rest of the program, and continued success.
Will do. Thank you.
And we'll see you on WEFM. I'll be working on that soon and being in touch with you.
Great.
Appreciate
Looking
that.
forward to it.
Coach Patrick McCoy joining us here, as well as Josh and Carter joining us here on the 21st annual installment here of Northwest Indiana Soccer's preview show as we continue on here at Hallmark Sports Club 2. Again, special thanks go out to Scott Hankins, Jason Kendera, and the rest of the folks over here at Hallmark for their terrific hospitality. Leagues are going to be starting up here very soon. It's their soccer home for the winter. Hallmark offers and also operates indoor soccer leagues for kids, teens, and adults from October through April. League registration opens September 15th, with adult leagues starting October 16th, and youth and high school leagues starting November 1st weekend. See the Hallmark Sports Club 2's website for details at www.hallmarksportsclub2.com. Hallmark remains Northwest Indiana's soccer hub through your off season, so get in here and play. And we're going to bring on Chris Mikert right now, the head coach of the Crown Point Girls program. And Chris, all day long I get pointed at. Yeah, here. Oh, jeez. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How you doing, Mike?
Good. And how's things been going for you so far? I'm sure the numbers are great as usual, and maybe some difficult decisions that have had to be made.
Yeah, we had a great summer. We have 48 girls, I think, now in the program out of the 3 teams that we run. And we were able to keep every kid in the program this year. So didn't have to make any cuts, so it was a good thing.
Well, that's good, because I would imagine that's pretty heartbreaking for a student athlete to go out there and try their best and not being able to make the squad. And you've got some big shoes to fill with 5 quality student athletes, including probably one of the top players in the area, and Jenna Arnold. So let's touch base first of all as far as that leadership and what you're going to miss from that quintet.
Yeah, there's a really good group of kids that had a lot of experience over their career and had a lot of success, and so losing a kid like Jenna Arnold, who had started pretty much every game and played probably the most minutes of definitely of that group, but maybe even in the history of Crown Point, just because playing in that back for 3 years, she just never came out. So,
right,
and she's going to go on and play at St. Joe's right now, and I think she left today for that. So, but the other kids were really good, and we're going to miss those kids.
No doubt about that, Coach. And 13-6-1 last year, and the schedule always very tough. And you guys go out of the area to play some of the top teams in the state. And one of those programs, of course, Hamilton Southeastern, which has been a perennial powerhouse down in the Indianapolis area. How are those games throughout the year helped you, the team, to not only prepare mentally for the Duneland schedule, but also for the postseason, where you guys have been able to take that and advance?
Well, it's a tough weekend for us. We leave at 6 o'clock in the morning, get down to Hamilton, and then play there and get in a bus and go to play Brebeuf, who's just outstanding. And, they got a girl going to Michigan, a regional player, and then we come home, and then we got to go back on Tuesday and play Valpo. So I dread that week, but it does prepare us for the postseason, and obviously hoping that we're still in a run for the conference championship as we get into that Valpo game. It's a hard week of soccer, but just really good experience.
Got some younger players coming into the program right now. They're going to be playing prominent roles for the team. Maybe some tweaking a little bit as far as where they're going to be at the pitch at a particular time. How's that process been going for you so far to try to get your starting 11 as well as your rotation coming into the tough DAC?
Well, I thought it was going good until this morning's scrimmage.
Oh boy, I always love to hear that one.
But no, we're still in the process of moving kids around to where they can best help the team. And I think we have a lot of kids that can play multiple positions, and through the year we're going to be able to do that until we can kind of figure out what our best lineup is for the need, whether it's we need to be more offensive because we're down a goal or trying to get another goal, or if we need to be more defensive because we got a lead on somebody and now it's getting late in the game. So it's looking forward to have kids that can move from outside mid to an outside defender, from a sweeper to a center mid or something like that. So we're still in that role of figuring out, and every day kids surprise us and do well in something that we didn't think they could do.
Yeah, and that was something, obviously, that Jenna did very well. She was very flexible in that situation. How difficult is it for a student-athlete? I know sometimes they get that tunnel vision that, hey, I'm a striker, or I'm a midfielder, I'm on the outside, I'm a fullback. How difficult is that for a student-athlete to make that transition, and how difficult sometimes it is from a salesman standpoint, from a coach, to make them understand that that's part of what we're trying to do as a team?
I think that can be difficult, especially for the younger players, the freshmen and sophomores. Sometimes as we are looking, hey, you're a really good defender, but you could help us at this spot.
Right.
Selling, and they're like, well, I never played there before. Well, I think if you want to go on and do this at the next level, most colleges aren't recruiting just an outside defender. They want that kid to maybe be in their program a center mid or a forward or something like that. So the kids I think it allows them to understand the game better. By being able to do that. And, we went into a game the other day of a kid who's been outside mid for us her whole time and moved her to defense, and she was outstanding back there and has probably earned more time at that spot than she would at the mid, and that's kind of how we sell it. And I think that these girls do a good job of bringing this team together, and it's not just about individuals, but it's about a team effort here.
Well, goalkeepers have always been terrific over at Crown Point High School. This year is no exception with Megan now starting her third season. Let's talk a little bit about her, and made really very kind comments about the fact maybe the most athletic keeper you've had in 17 years as a varsity girls soccer coach, and that covers not only here in Indiana but in Illinois as well. So talk about that situation as well as the back.
Yeah, Megan's an outstanding field player too, and I got to listen to her all the time begging to get on the field. And we can use her in that idea of being able to play the ball back to her and distribute when we're in trouble. But yeah, she's grown so much as a keeper in her last 2 years, since she started as a sophomore, and is very good at making difficult saves, and sometimes making them look easy. She had some really nice saves this summer. We're pushing balls over the net where she's completely in the air and vertical, so she's really done a nice job for us.
Megan Morrison's going to join us here right now, and third year in between the pipes, Megan, and Coach talked about getting the ball back to you and distributing it back there. How has that helped you to work with your back four to be able to move the ball up in those situations where maybe they're looking to maybe create a little bit more space in the back?
Well, it definitely helps in our transition a lot too. So if they're under pressure and pass it to me, it's just I'm an extra field player out there, and I can get the ball back up and we can go down the field and hopefully score a goal.
You ever get in Coach's ear about possibly taking some PKs? I'm sure have you done that before? Or?
Well, my sophomore year, I did a lot, and then junior year, I lost every single ounce of skill in my PK kick, so I haven't been bothering him too much about that.
How's the back been shaping up for you, the Lady Bulldogs, so far?
We changed our formation a little bit, and I think it's working really good, and we're all kind of molding and getting used to it, but everyone's kind of doing a good job back there.
So I'm going to put the broadcaster's hat on you right now. Talk a little bit about Lauren over here, and what is she going to have to do to help you guys win some soccer games this year?
Well, Lauren's been playing since freshman year on varsity, so she's got a lot of experience, and she knows exactly what needs to be done, and she's played along with Sarah and Rachel and Jenna, so she understands what needs to be done, and she's got it.
Well, Lauren, obviously a lot of praise from your teammate over here, and the transition now going into the leadership role for you as well as some of the other players. Are you comfortable with that, and do you show it either vocally or by example, or maybe a combination of both?
Oh, it's definitely a combination of both. It's definitely a combination of both because you can't just have one or the other. It's both, which makes everything work easier.
Now, you've seen a lot of success with this program in the postseason. You guys have advanced. You've been right on the cusp of possibly going down to Indianapolis. And what's that been like going through that process and your understanding of what it would take to possibly get down for a championship game?
It's a tough road to get down there, and we've been fortunate to get pretty far these past couple of years. It's hard work, and it never stops.
Yeah, and I know when October comes, you're kind of in the grind there, and, of course, the injuries set in a little bit and stuff. What have been some of the things you've worked on specifically now in your game to possibly help you, not only from a tactical standpoint, but also from a leadership standpoint as well?
Leadership, it's all about getting everybody to work together and being vocal on the field and off the field as well, because if you can't function off the field, and there's no sense of even stepping on the field.
Very good. And who's opened your eyes in the training camp that you really have been very impressed with their tactical play, as well as how they've been able to fit in with what coach is trying to teach?
We've had some underclassmen really step up this year and moving from defense up to forward and coming to outside mids, and everybody's picking up new roles this year, and it's really working really well.
Terrific. And, Coach, give us an analysis of the DAC. Obviously, the same suspects, Valparaiso, Chesterton, and the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah, the DAC is always a great conference, and I'm proud that we get to play a lot of the best teams in the Crossroads, also. That's what it's called.
Northwest Crossroads Conference, yep.
So, and we have to play Munster and Highland and Andrean, so it's really nice. But I think there's a lot of parity this year, and I know Lake Central's going to have a really nice team, and we get to see them first, so we'll get to see kind of where we are right away.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Going over to St. John, and, of course, going down to Hamilton Southeastern. Do you know obviously it's going to be Hamilton Southeastern. Are there going to be other teams involved in that
we play
round robin?
So then we get on the bus and drive over to Brebeuf to get us a little bit closer to home. But it is a tough weekend.
Right, kind of an eye-opener,
just
I'm
leaving
sure.
at 6 o'clock in the morning and trying to get these kids riding the bus for 2.5 hours and then try to play is
right.
Is
and
difficult.
I know that I believe it was last year that you had some testing going on at the same time.
2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's real great timing.
Yeah,
huh?
I know. Well, but you know what? The younger kids got a chance to step up and see what it's like.
Sure.
And we do that. So I've often thought about it's time to maybe stop going there all the time, but it is a really good experience for us.
Continued success.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks very much, Coach. Thanks very much, Lauren. Megan, appreciate your time very much. And continued success in that tough Duneland Athletic Conference. And again, with our trivia, we're trying to find out who was the former Notre Dame Fighting Irish who is right now playing for the Chicago Fire and is doing a terrific job. We're trying to give away those tickets for the game, which is coming up tomorrow over at Toyota Park as the Fire gets set to take on New York. And we're going to keep things right in the Duneland Athletic Conference as we're going to bring on Danny Yeftich, and Gang Green from Valparaiso High School is going to join us. And, Coach, first of all, great to see you again. And give us kind of an idea how the trip was. I know you were overseas and had an opportunity to get back and continue your world travels a little bit.
Very exciting to go home. Every time I go home, it's just a positive experience. I visit everybody, you gain a couple pounds because you eat good food. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
You visit relatives and so on, and I see a lot of World Cup games there with family, so it was very good. Now it's time to go back to work. What
was your impression of the World Cup? You had mentioned to me in an email you thought the best team won. I thought probably the same way.
I like the Germany, the way they play, how they move the ball, and really I like the intensity and also the technical ability in terms of how they work as a team, as attacking and defending. So looking at from that perspective, I want a European team to win it, but Germany just had a team that was really impressive this year.
Yeah, they just seemed, we always talk about that triangular tactical part of soccer and being able to move things up and advance down the field, and a lot of one touch and a lot of give and go and crossing and just some stuff that was really very impressive.
No question. I mean, there's so many professionals on the German team, and it seems like there's no egos. They share the ball, they tackle, they do the dirty work, so to speak. They don't mind coming back and defending. So the whole unit just impressed me the way they're just blue-collar workers and on their level. Because sometimes you have some prima donnas just waiting for the ball, but the whole German team was just impressive the way they play as one unit.
Were you able to kick the ball around a little bit out there?
A little bit, yeah, a few times. Yeah.
Very good. So how are things shaping up with you and Coach Kusan and the Vikings here in your training camp heading into the season?
Well, we just had our preseason retreat down at Zimmer the Woods College at Terre Haute. Had a positive experience there, play a couple of games there, had a little shootout. Also, tournament in Mishawaka, actually Elkhart area there, did well there. So every time we step on the field, the young guys are learning the system. It's a fairly young team in terms of our numbers. We still have 9 seniors, 8 juniors, and 4 sophomores. So it's a good balance. But the young guys have to learn the system and understand how we play this year.
coaches, obviously, it's a double-edged sword when it comes to the fact that you guys are able to play so much in the off season as a unit, which is different than what it was, years ago. Your thoughts on that? Is that a good thing for the student athletes? It's obviously a good thing for team chemistry, but what about the kids and about maybe having some time to be a kid?
Well, you're right. I mean, they need to have some time off to reflect on the past season. I mean, they go from one season to another, from indoor to outdoor, from spring to summer. And so there were a couple of weeks there that we had. There was a dead week, in July, and then here at the end there was another week that it was optional training. So
right.
They do get some time off. But I don't know. I think these young guys, because they love the game so much, they don't mind, working hard and kicking the ball.
The senior class that you had last year was a special group, a large group of kids that have moved on. What is your team going to miss the most from that group?
I mean, take a look at the group. Those guys, to be honest with you, they underachieved. I felt that the talent was there to go to next level.
Right.
And I think our midfield, the play with Luke Hover, losing Luke Hover in the midfield and losing Andrew Fletcher in the goal, it's a big deal right there. So those two spots we're focusing on fixing. But other pieces I think will fit together well to what we have.
You brought Ryan and Jared here with you, but besides those two student athletes, you talked about those spaces that you needed to fill. You've also graduated 2 seniors in the front line, all your midfield graduating, and then 2 of the 4 in the back along with Andrews. So let's talk about maybe some of the other kids besides these 2 that you brought here today. They're going to have to step up.
Well, in our midfield now, looking at the youngster coming up, Baker Harris, and I think he's a very tough defender. Center mid, we play Michael Diedrich. He's another senior who's had a broken leg about 2 years ago now. He recovered fine from it. So he's another leader up front. In the midfield up front, Ben Wallace. I think he's a very good athlete up front, so going to help us out. And Jose Paulo, he plays in the midfield, is another senior there. And Tony Carpenter, who's a senior young man who played football and decided to play soccer this year.
I noticed he was a new name that was on the roster. I didn't see him on the JV last year.
He's going to help us out a lot. And there's a young sophomore that moved in from Virginia. His name is Ryan Respond, very promising young player. So, I think we'll be okay.
Between the pipes, Billy Yogan, how has he been doing and heading into a senior year?
Progressing real well. I think he's getting confidence. He's coming off the line. He's demonstrating confidence and ability to control the box. I think he's a good, over 6 foot tall, so he catches all the crosses in the box. So I think he's going to respond well. And young guys, I'm really impressed with their work ethic. I think they're really working hard.
What do Ryan and Jared bring to the table here for you, and what are your expectations for this year?
They're my leaders. I mean, these guys, they're leaders on the field, they're leaders off the field. Of course, Jared is a team captain, and Ryan, leads in his own way. And Nate Dawson was another captain. Couldn't be here on this day. So, these guys are the core of our team, and they're vocal leaders, and I appreciate the efforts every day.
We're going to bring on Jared Bradley right now, and as Coach mentioned, you are the captain of the team, and thanks for taking the time and coming out, Jared.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it very much. Captain's a big deal, especially in this program. What does it mean to you to be named by your peers as well as the coaches to be one of the leaders on the field?
Well, it means a lot, representing my school and my teammates, just them choosing me to be the leader of them. It means a lot to me.
There's a lot of expectations for this program. Year in and year out, Coach has those expectations. The community has those expectations. How disappointing was it last year, the way it ended, and how can you use that as a motivational force for 2014?
Yeah, it was really rough losing that game. And, we put it past us. We learned from it. We learned from our mistakes, and really excited for the season to start.
As a captain, are you a guy that likes to lead by example, or are you more of a in-your-face, yelling and saying, hey, we've got to step it up here because coach's expectations, we're not meeting them right now?
Most of the time it's by example, but if I need to get into someone's face, I'll do it, no problem.
Who's been impressing you so far, not only from a tactical standpoint, but as well as from a leadership standpoint on this team?
I'm really impressed with Michael Diedrich in the center mid. He's been playing really well recently. And Baker Harris, a young guy coming up, he's been playing really well at holding mid.
What's Ryan going to have to do to help you guys win some soccer games this year?
He's going to have to lead out on the field. He's going to have to play really well out on the left side and send in a bunch of crosses to Jacob Wallace up top and win us some games.
Ryan, what's it been like working with Mr. Wallace up there? He's been a guy that's had a lot of success, and give us an idea what you think your role is in the whole picture scheme of things to be successful offensively with Valparaiso.
Yeah, working with Jacobs, he's a very good up-front player, has the ability to move the ball quickly from the midfield out to the forwards area. And just working with everybody on the field is a tactical abnormality some people have to figure out once in a while. But as our team gets closer and closer together, our chemistry builds, we're able to move forward as a team and be able to work hard and win some games.
Tactical abnormality. I like that, Coach. That's good. That's good stuff there, no doubt. How has playing for Millennium helped you with the Millennium Soccer Academy?
I played for Millennium for a couple of years before I went to Fort Wayne. I'm moving back to Millennium this year. Playing with Millennium really helped me build my game more towards the attacking side of things. Helped with the footwork. Helped with moving on into becoming a better player, both mentally and physically.
Terrific. And Ryan, what are some of the aspects of your game personally that you have worked on for the weeks heading up here to the season, and what you think during the season you're going to have to work on to try to tweak?
Some of the aspects of my game, more of my right foot. I had a weaker right foot last season that I probably should have had. So moving on from that, I've tried to work harder at becoming more of a two-footed player, moving forward with the ball, getting the ball into the box, getting the ball into the 6-yard area to be able to score and finish the ball near the net.
How difficult is that? I know myself, I'm a right-footed kicker, and I play with my son, and I have a hard time with my left foot being able to get a lot of muster on it. What can you do to improve your strength and also your accuracy to be a two-footed player like you're saying?
You know, it's mostly just a lot of practice. You got to get a lot of touches on the ball with your right foot, with your opposite foot that you have. You just got to – it takes just a lot of repetition, a lot of work and practice to get it done.
Coach, the schedule, as usual, is just a murder's row. North Central, I believe, is back on there again. And, Westfield, a perennial power down in the Marion County area. You go to the St. Joseph's Indian Classic again in the South Bend area. And then you've got Fort Wayne Canterbury as well as the DAC. How do you see the schedule shaping up and trying to keep this team healthy as you go through just a murderous schedule?
The key is really to stay healthy, as you said, but we do travel. I mean, we go places. You mentioned Fort Wayne, South Bend, Indianapolis, and teams like that to really find out where we belong, where we are right now. I like the challenge. I like our work ethic. As we stay healthy, I think we're gonna make some surprises along the way. We're a fairly young team, but really these boys they're putting it together. Every time I see them, we get better and better. So I can't wait for the season to get up.
Well, the 20th of August, you'll be at Kessling Park against the LaPorte Slicers, a very difficult opponent to start the DAC season. And, Coach, continued success. Thanks very much for everything. Really appreciate it. Tell Ted I said hi, too.
Thank you much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it very much. Danny Yeftich, the Hall of Famer, joining us here at Hallmark Sports Club 2, 8328 Colorado Street in Maryville. We want to thank him for his terrific support throughout the year. And we will see him, obviously, down the road as well. Once again, the trivia contest for the Chicago Fire. The former Fighting Irish from Notre Dame, who right now is playing very well for the Chicago Fire. And we've got an answer. We've got a winner in our program here. And what I need from you now is I do have the texter that texts us in. Give us your contact information, please. Give us your name, your address, and I've got your phone number, obviously. So get that over to us. I've got your phone number here. Make sure you confirm the number that you send the answer in, and we will make sure that we get you those 4 tickets for the Chicago Fire coming up tomorrow against New York. And don't miss your chance to get your fix of live Major League Soccer this year. The Chicago Fire Soccer Club has just 6 home games remaining in the 2014 season. See the men in red take on Thierry Henry and Tim Cahill's New York Red Bulls tomorrow, as well as FC Dallas on Saturday, August the 30th. Tickets are available by calling 888-MLS-FIRE or online at chicago-fire.com. Chicago Fire live at Toyota Park in Bridgeview. Chicago Fire is Chicago Soccer. Chicago Soccer is Chicago Fire. And we're going to keep it in Valparaiso Valparaiso, Indiana right now, and we're going to bring on the defending regional champions. The Valparaiso Lady Vikings are going to join us, and Robert Cespedes. And Coach, thanks for taking the time and coming out, and how's your summer been going?
It's been going really well. It's been actually a beautiful summer.
Yeah, I was talking to some of the student athletes about that, and it certainly has to be a nice reprieve from some of the previous summers where you had 90, 95-degree days and 90% humidity. Touch base on that and how it's been able to help your student athletes this year.
Well, this season we actually changed things around a little bit. We've had our practices mostly in the afternoon, later from 5 to 6:30, and I thought, hopefully that'll kind of ease the weather, the sun, and all those different types of things. Luckily, though, we didn't really have to worry much about that because it really wasn't a factor. It's been great weather. The girls have been able to really work out, go on their runs, and enjoy some fitness workouts and different things like that, and not really be affected with overheating or exhaustion or any of those types of things.
The run last year, obviously just a memorable one for not only you and the staff, but for that group of seniors that have moved on. What was the thing that kicked in for this program, and what kind of made the difference that got you guys over the top and got you as deep as you did?
Well, I think one of the things was, especially at the beginning of the season, the girls seemed to have clicked wonderfully together.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily just on the field, but off the field. They really had a really nice chemistry. They genuinely enjoyed spending time together, and with that, they were very wide open to receiving, to working together, and being open to switching positions, and trying to do the best, and especially because they enjoyed being with each other. I think also that was kind of an incentive for them to want to stay together for as long as possible, and the longer we stayed in the tournament, they had that opportunity to stay together, which was really wonderful. And the girls, they did a really great job with that.
Two senior leaders that obviously you're going to miss, Gigi in the middle as well as Lauren in the back, and then Christina in between the pipes. Those three student athletes, what were some of the things that they brought to the pitch that this group is going to miss?
You know what? One of those key things that those girls really had was a very strong desire of pushing themselves, of trying to do anything that they possibly could to get the team to get to where they want to go. They were they had their great times, and they at times they acted, comical and funny and all those different types of things. But when it came down to games, you saw a completely different facial expression that was more of, we got to get out there and get this done. Everybody knock off the shenanigans, whatever, and we want to keep this going as long as we can. And to have that presence on the field, or if, some of the other girls that were watching on the sidelines, they saw that, when those girls were out there, they weren't messing around. They were playing their heart out. And that was a really great quality. To have three girls doing that, all seniors, all leaders on the team, it's a great thing to have.
The other thing, Coach, that's terrific is all three of those kids moving on to college, Lauren to Butler, Christina and Gigi to Trine University. Obviously a huge feather in the cap for you and the program and the kids knowing that they can move on to the next level just by looking at their predecessors.
Well, not only looking at their predecessors, but the grand majority of the girls were a part of that team last year. So that was the nice thing, is they had that experience. They saw what it took for them to get that far. Particularly the three girls that are here with us today, they were all there. They were all key players for all of those things to happen. And even for the freshmen that we have acquired for this varsity team this year, it's something that of an influence to have these girls say, look, this is not what's going to make us get to the final of this tournament. We've been there. We know what it takes. We need you guys to buy into this and push them forward to give their all so that we have that opportunity.
Yeah, success, no doubt, breeds future success. That's for sure with the younger players. And one of those successful players is Lexi Ferngren. She's going to join us here right now. And Lexi, one of the key players in the back line for Coach Cespedes. And Boy, I tell you what, Lexi, 4.1 grade point average. I mean, that's just unbelievable with AP classes as well. How do you balance everything, not only with Coach Cespedes' expectations and the staff, but also with your teachers and the folks in the academic world at Valpo?
Well, I basically just try to focus on school. Obviously comes first, but when I'm at soccer, I like to focus 100% on soccer and my commitment to the team. But then, like when we have road games and stuff, I like to do my schoolwork on the bus. And sometimes it's difficult to find time, but if you just like focus in on your schoolwork, you can find time. But it's a bit of a challenge sometimes.
What is LEAD as well as ASAP? Obviously, I know about the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, but what about those other two organizations?
LEAD is kind of like an anti-bullying more thing, like treating everyone equally and giving everyone like a fair chance.
With respect, right?
And then ASAP is the Alliance of Students Against Poverty. It's actually a club that my friend's older brother created when he was a senior, and we've been kind of helping out with that through the school, and we just do different programs. Like we have a ping pong against poverty where it's a giant ping pong tournament and all the money goes to for the poverty.
What a great idea. What was the run like last year for you guys?
It was thrilling. It was so fun. It was tough at times because especially the way our regular season went, and then with Chesterton like being undefeated and stuff. But we were just ready we knew we could do it, and we had great leadership from the seniors, and they wanted it. And I'd say the most important thing for our team was that everyone wanted it for each other.
Mm-hmm.
So we all played, we didn't want it just for ourselves. We wanted it for the seniors and for everyone else on the team. Everybody
certainly was on the same page, that's for sure. And one of the players that was on the same page was obviously Grace Withrow, and she's going to join us right now. And Grace, 2013 Player of the Year at the Times, all DAC performer the last 2 years, and also doing a great job in basketball as well. And congratulations on a great year, Grace. And what was that like going down and getting all the way to the semi-state level and tasting that success?
It was really awesome. It wasn't expected for sure, which was even what the best parts of it. No one thought that we were going to do that, and that's what made it so sweet. One of the coolest parts about going to the Final Four was how proud we made our community and our parents. I remember I was laying in my room ready to go to school, or no, it was Friday night before we went to semi-state. My mom came in my room and she looked at me and she was like, Grace, you're going to the Final Four tomorrow, or you're going to semi-state tomorrow. And that's something that I'll never forget, and it was a really cool experience.
What's it been like playing with Ashley up top?
It's been great. She's a really good player, and she's really easy to play off of and unselfish, and she works hard, and it's fun. It's good.
Now, for you, you're heading from junior year to senior year now, and a lot of the younger kids in the program, maybe not even so much the ones that were on the team last year, but the new ones that are coming into Coach's program right now. Are you comfortable in that role, and how do you go about leading and mentoring the younger players?
I think one of the things about me that helps me to lead the younger kids is that I've been there. I've been the freshman on varsity. I've been the youngest kid in the group. I played a year up in club all my life, and I know what it's like to be smaller than everyone else and to be the youngest. And so having that empathy makes it really easy and fun, I guess, for me to lead these younger kids and to help them to learn learn the ropes and learn what it's like to be a part of a team. And I really like to do that because I like to help out, because I have been there and because I do know what it's like to be in their position that they're in.
Pass the microphone over to Ashley Thomas right now, all-district second-team performer as well, and also doing a great job in the classroom as all these young ladies are doing. And Ashley, what's it like to be up there at striker and being a marked person up there by the defense?
Well, as the striker up top, it's a big responsibility, and your team really relies on you, but also you rely heavily on your team. You can't score or make any shots if your team doesn't get the ball to you. So it's cool to see my team and how well we work together, that we can all end up getting to the goal that we want to reach.
How cool is it for you, now being a senior, to see the freshmen and sophomores following in your footsteps and improving their game as they go along?
It's always really amazing to see what the younger classmen learn from the upperclassmen and see how hard they work to try and excel as the upperclassmen have. And so I just think it's really cool to see that the younger classmen want to become like what the upperclassmen have set an example of.
Well, Coach, you certainly brought 3 terrific student athletes with you here that are doing a great job not only on the field but in the classroom. Schedule is challenging as usual. How do you see the DAC shaping up? It's obviously always a very tough goal in Northwest Indiana.
It definitely is, especially, every year it is. Every year it is. Last year, definitely, Chesterton had a very strong presence in the DAC. This year, I was just talking to Chris Mickroot, and talking about the other teams, and we're thinking, there are at least 2 or 3 teams that are going to really have a strong presence this season. And, if we don't start off strong right at the beginning, you can run that race, but you'll still be one step behind if you don't start off on the right foot. And especially at the beginning of the season this year, we have to make sure that we're starting on that right foot.
Coach, congratulations on just a terrific year last year, continued success, and again, thanks very much for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
Robert Cespedes joining us here from the Valparaiso girls soccer program. They open their season at home over at Viking Arena coming up on August the 19th against the LaPorte Slicers. So special thanks to them, and again, congratulations on being the regional champions here in Northwest Indiana. Calumet College of St. Joseph's has the lowest tuition of any private college in Indiana. It offers traditional programs with flexible class schedules, accelerated programs to help adults earn their bachelor's degree in as little as 12 months, and master's programs specifically designed for working adults. Some classes are also offered at the University Center in Portage. Make CCSJ your university of choice. For more information, call 219-473-4215 or check them out on the web at www.ccsj.edu. We're going to continue on. We're going to move down to Cedar Lake and visit with Dan Grunwald, the former Mustang from Munster High School, is going to join us here. He's now coaching over at Hanover Central High School with the program over there. And Coach, how's it been going for you so far this summer?
It's been very positive, and it's been a good summer program, and we've had a lot of new players come out. We're looking forward to it. We have about 37 players right now, so it's been a big jump from 22 last year.
Yeah, Dad, you kind of took the words out of my mouth there. I was going to ask you about the numbers and how that's going for you. And obviously with that jump of almost 2-1 now, touch base on the fact that you're able now to get a lot more scrimmaging in, and you're really able to kind of take a look at developing a lot more depth for the Wildcats.
Yeah, it's nice because now we can actually have a defined JV team, defined varsity team. We're not going to have to be swinging a lot of players back and forth. We could separate the talent. It's a lot easier to separate talent with the drills that we're running, and then plus we finally have a full practice field to practice on. Over the past 3 years, we've just had a patch of grass that it wasn't near the size of a soccer field. So now we actually have a full size field, and I think it's going to help out a lot this year.
How has the addition of football affected your program over at Hanover Central, and are you guys involved with sharing athletes?
Yeah. I would say that it's been positive because, I can't really say anything negative because we've jumped. We're up to 37 players right now.
Sure.
I'm definitely, would cooperate with sharing players. If the coach would allow that, the football coach would allow that, I'm definitely all for it. If a kicker wants to kick football and play soccer, I'm all for it. Let the kids do what they want to do and have fun in high school, and we can accommodate for that, I'm sure.
Dan, how the youth programs have obviously got to be really growing, with the increased numbers, and how has that affected your coaching? A lot of times when you're first starting a program, as you were doing a few years ago, you got to start at the grassroots level and get back to the fundamentals and, back to square one. Maybe you kind of be able to overlook a little bit more of that stuff and kind of tweak things and do a little bit more advanced coaching.
Yeah, like the coaches that we had for the middle school level, they've done a great job of bringing those players up and spreading the word and getting kids interested in soccer. And then in the classroom, I teach the middle school. I'm constantly recruiting kids for soccer. First day I'm asking who plays soccer, and then
sure.
You're automatically going out for middle school right away. So we've just been trying to spread the word and get kids interested in playing soccer. The goal in probably the next year is, try to get a Cedar Lake team in like the Northwest Indiana Soccer League.
Mm-hmm.
Start a little feeder program, just like how Munster has their Munster Soccer League. Do something with Cedar Lake Soccer and try to build some teams to play in the Northwest Indiana Soccer League. There's not a whole lot of youth programs around. I know, they go to like either Crown Point youth programs or they go to like Dyer programs, but we sort of want to start concentrating on keeping everything in Cedar Lake and keeping those kids, build them up through our program and keeping them interested.
Let's touch base first of all on the defensive side of things, Coach. Losing Dylan Baker, your sweeper and captain and an all-conference performer, obviously some big shoes to fill. You also lose another captain in Ronnie Strain as well as a forward and Isaac Cortez. But let's touch base first of all on the back third and then work our way forward.
Well, defensively, I think that's probably going to be like our strongest aspect this year. We have Danny Grill, he's returning. He's looking probably going to be play a defensive position or center mid, depending on the game. We have DJ Moran. I think he was an honorable mention, all conference. He was a freshman last year, sophomore this year, but he played almost every game last year, almost every minute. He has a lot of experience, very fast player. He's definitely going to be playing defense. And then we have Drew Jakovic. He had a lot of experience last year. He's a junior this year, so we're expecting big things out of him back there. And then we have another sophomore, Eric Lacomic. He sort of stepped up into the stopper spot last year towards like the middle of the season, just trying to get him comfortable with playing with the varsity, and he did a nice job at the end of the season. So we're expecting big things out of him also in the back.
What about between the pipes?
Between the pipes, well, that was a mystery for us. We actually going into camp, we didn't know who our goalie was going to be. We have three guys that want to try to, they're competing for the goalie position right now. We have a decent idea of who it might be, but we have two guys that are 6'3", 6'4", long, They got a long arm length, so and they're pretty agile. One was a former basketball player, one's a wrestler. So we got some tough kids back there. So we just have to evaluate them, see who we choose.
Yeah, the old saying, you can't teach height and length, that's for sure. So that's obviously a very strong situation for you in the back line. Well, one of the young men that's going to be expected to tickle the onion sack this season is Alex Nurtaud, and he's going to join us here. And Alex, boy, fourth in the class, 4.2. Great point average. Talk about meeting coach's expectations here on the field and all the demands that he puts on you, and also being able to do a great job in the classroom as well.
Yeah, well, most of the way I play sports is more through like leading by actions. Like this year, I've been trying to talk a lot more, and coach has helped me with that because he pointed out to me last year. So I'm helping with these like freshmen because we got like 13 new freshmen that are coming in. So I'm really trying to teach them more of the basics because we're still building them up because they got to be stronger and everything. But it's looking good, and the seniors we have this year are working a lot. So looks good. How
exciting has it been for you to see, as you've gone through your career at Hanover Central, the development of the program, and as Coach mentioned, now almost 40 kids coming out for soccer. That's terrific.
Oh, yeah, it's really exciting because, like, the past years we haven't had a lot of people looking at it, because a lot of people kind of, like, look bad at soccer, kind of it's a weak sport or something, but it's fantastic that a lot more people are coming out, and, like, the seniors this year, again, we've played 4 years together, and there's going to be a lot of chemistry. So
18 goals, 5 assists, and the MVP as well as first team all-conference in the Northwest Indiana Soccer Conference. What's it been like for you guys in that conference? It's a developing conference. It seems like we're starting to get a lot more rivalries. Marquette has really picked it up. Wheeler has really gotten strong as you move on and on with the conference. What's that been like to be able to see the development of the NWISC?
Oh, it's exciting. I mean, those rivals are a lot of fun, and we're ready for those rivals this year. We're ready to come out again for Covenant Christian, Wheeler, Bishop Knoll. We're going to put it to them. So,
going to put the broadcaster's hat on you right now, Alec. Talk about Eric here a little bit, his game and what he brings to the pitch and what he's going to have to do to make the Wildcats successful this year.
Well, Eric's been around with me for a while, and it's a lot of fun playing with him. He's probably going to be in the middle a lot with me, so me and him are going to have to work a lot, and he moves the ball well. He's got a really good leg, and he'll be able to play 80 minutes.
Eric Einsbar is going to join us here right now. And, Eric, you're doing a great job in the classroom as well with that 4.0. And talk about the DECA state qualifier and what that was all about.
It's a business club, and you just have to write a paper, and basically you're with a group of people. I was with a couple other soccer players, and we had to study hard for that while trying to maintain good grades and still play well on the pitch. So it was kind of difficult, but not too much to handle.
I know it was obviously disappointing with the 4-11-1 record last season. As you look back on some of those losses, what are some of the areas that you guys are going to have to improve on to maybe change some of those L's to W's?
Well, really it was just we didn't have a lot of players coming. We lost 11 seniors, so we lost a lot of players on the varsity side, so we didn't have too much experience coming up. But as the season progressed, we played a lot better because we all started to know how to play the game.
How does golf help you in the mental aspect of playing soccer?
Actually, a lot, because golf's all mental, really. And
yes, it is.
You can't lose your cool in golf, and you can't lose your cool in soccer. So.
Yeah, and I think I lose my cool in both. That's for sure. I tell you, that game is just frustrating. And how do you see the conference shaping up, Coach?
Well, it's going to be a very competitive conference, I think. I mean, Bishop Knoll, Wheeler, Marquette. Covenant Christian. I mean, everyone in the conference is. I mean, everyone's looking to move up a spot, from last year. I mean, our goal, hopefully, is that I'd like to try to finish in top 3 this year. I mean, last year I know we're at the second to last spot, but I really believe that with the seniors that we've had over the course of the last 4 years, with the experience that we had players with playing last year coming into this year, that we can actually put something together and make a pretty good run.
Coach, continued success. Congratulations on the numbers. That's awesome. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys. Thanks again for coming up. Appreciate it. Dan Greenwald, the head coach of the Hanover Central Wildcats, joining us here. Again, special thanks to Alec along with Eric for coming and joining us here. As we continue on, we're going to move to the Northwest Crossroads Conference and bring on Val Flum and the Munster Mustangs. And we also, again, want to thank Hallmark Sports Club, too. We also want to thank J&J's Pizza Shack. They're feeding all the student-athletes out here today. For great-tasting pizza, you must try J&J's Pizza Shack, located at 1454 West Lincoln Way, 1 mile west of the square in Valparaiso. They offer a variety of great-tasting pizza, including their famous kitchen sink. Did you have pizza yesterday? Their menu also includes sandwiches, seafood, rib, chicken dinners, and salads. Dine-in and carry-out and delivery is available in the local area. For delivery, give J&J's Pizza Shack a call today at 476-1616. That's 476-1616. Same menu, still great taste. And we are going to bring on our resident expert of Cincinnati Bengal football, and it's Valerie Flum is going to join us. And, give us a little thumbnail sketch on the black and orange for us.
They're going to be pretty tough. Did you see that preseason game?
I missed it. I have all this stuff going on with soccer, but
beautiful throw, AJ Green on the slants, 45-yard throw by Andy Dalton. It's going on.
I guess.
Can you believe little Palmer's up there in Chicago trying to be the backup?
He is, and he's got some competition from my old friend, Mr. Clausen from
I don't think he's going to win.
You're talking about Jordan?
Yes, I don't think he's going to win.
That's tight, they say. It's going to depend, obviously, on the performance on the field, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's improved.
He has.
He wasn't very good in Cincinnati.
Yeah,
I hope he doesn't listen to this show.
And Clausen, obviously, he went through his growing pains at Notre Dame and then over at Carolina. And, it's quarterback's a tough position. You've got to be able to get your reads and know your progressions and all that stuff. And speaking of great progressions, as we change over, we're going to move to Munster girls soccer here. Another great season again for you last year, Coach. And let's talk a little bit about this senior group, a real special group of kids that's moving on. And what are some of the things that you're going to miss from those kids?
Oh, those girls were they were personable. They were all leaders. So, I lost a lot of leaders. And this junior class incoming senior class has a big void to fill in that aspect. We had a lot of, they gave everything to the game. They were always there. And I think that's the biggest part that's going to be missed is just them taking charge to make my life easier.
Right, and how cool is it to have 5 of your student athletes, maybe even more since you gave us the questionnaire, moving on to the college ranks?
It's encouraging, definitely. Every year we want to get the kids more looks, and that's what's happening.
No doubt about that with Alyssa, of course, and Allison. And Allison just a tremendous year last year. And, of course, Sammy Kufis holding things down, not only in the back, but moving her around. And discuss the importance of flexibility in your players. And I was talking earlier in the show about that, about how sometimes student-athletes get a little tunnel vision. They say, I want to be a forward. I get pigeonholed. I want to do this. I want to do that. And you're trying to kind of sell them the team concept of things.
Right.
So discuss that tightrope walk that you walk sometimes as a coach.
I find that I believe in throwing them into the fire. So I'll just do it, throw them there and say, learn how to play it. If you want to play, that's where you got to play. We've been working a lot on there's no left, there's no right. Ours is more I play left side, I play right side, not I play this position. So we've worked a lot on that. We spent a lot of the summer working on new formations and whatnot and saying, hey, these are your strengths. And I actually have a great group of girls who are all willing to do whatever it takes for the team to win.
Are you a coach that has a philosophy of taking the personnel you have and putting them into a particular formation, or are you looking kind of at the skill sets and then adjusting your formations to whatever skill sets those student athletes bring?
This year, actually, we're going with the formation that fits the skill sets. Usually, my personnel tends to always fit a 4-4-2 with a diamond back. This year, we don't have that. Emily Johnson, she was our sweeper last year. She had multiple concussions and is no longer allowed to play soccer.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I offered to let her wear a helmet, but it didn't work. And so with her gone, we don't really have a true sweeper anymore. So we are actually adjusting our lineup and our formation. And by doing that, it actually meets the needs of our players a lot more.
Who's been opening your eyes besides the 2 student athletes that are to our right and left here?
Oh, boy. It's okay, Flo. All of my seniors have really stepped up. Rachel Tarpo, and she seems to be picking up right where she left off last year, which is great. Erin Gallagher has picked up her game tremendously. Kaylee Yeager, who is in the back, she's my one returning defensive player. Actually, she's picked it up a lot. And Lexi Lyons up top she's still in phenomenal shape and everything, and she just picked it up right where she left off as well. So I have a lot of girls who are really pushing themselves this year.
Introduced the 2 student athletes that you brought with you here to represent Munster High School and your expectations for them and where we might see them on the pitch.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I brought Kayla Bales here. She is one of my center mids. She's a 4-time, this is her 4th year on varsity, has been a starter since her freshman year. That's why she's here, even though she doesn't want to admit it. And Jessica Flores is to your left, and she is also a 4-time 4-year varsity starter, and she is going to get some forward time in, but she's also a midfielder. These 2 have been the core of my team for the last 4 years.
And they are back for their senior seasons this year, and both doing just a terrific job in the classroom. And Jessica, first-team All-District, third-team All-State, also leadership conference as well. And discuss keeping that balancing act. Coach has got a lot of demands on you as far as practice time and, what her expectations are for you to fit into the team. And your teachers have the same thing, obviously, at Munster High School. So what about juggling all that and being able to be successful at both?
Well, it's not easy, but I usually make time to do my homework first. But usually Flum doesn't run us too much for practice, so we have time to do it. And I have help, too, from teachers, and other players help me, too, for my homework if I ever need help. So I can always rely on them.
Tough question for you here. You're basically, you've been playing in the center mid, and don't know if Coach is going to have you up top or what her plans are yet for that. But I've had players before in the past, some of the top scorers end up playing on the defensive end, kind of in the offensive part of the defensive end of the diamond, so they can see things develop in front of them. Is that something that you've experimented with a little bit, and your thoughts about possibly being able to see a little bit more in front of you as you're playing?
Yeah, I definitely prefer center mid because I liked having like that view.
Mm-hmm.
So if I do play forward, I'll just have to learn to work with that. But yeah, I do prefer center mid to see that.
How do you feel the midfield is shaping up, and who do you see is going to have to step up to help you in that role?
Kayla will definitely have to help me.
Yep.
We work really well together, so if we just continue doing what we usually do, we should be okay.
How long have you guys been playing soccer together?
God, since like Munster travel ball, we've been playing for a while.
And let's bring on Kayla Bales right now, who has a 4.52 GPA as well, second team all-conference and academic all-district. And let's talk a little bit about the Science Olympiad, Kayla, and being a part of a state championship team with that.
Yeah, it's Science Olympiad has become more and more of a part of my life. Like, I didn't do it freshman year, but it takes up a lot of time, so that in soccer is a big thing.
What's the competition like? Where do you go to compete for that, and what are some of the areas that you have to deal with to be judged?
We go, well, there's 23 different events, so you usually do between like 1 and 4 or 5, and then they can range from like building things or tests about like anatomy, so lots of different things. And then we do like invites, and then the state competition is down at Bloomington.
Discuss the postseason and the end of the year and the motivational factor that gives you guys coming into the new year.
I think we're always striving to do better. Like, we went to the national competition last year, and then we're hoping to place even higher than we did. So.
And moving back to the pitch right now, anybody in particular in training camp has opened your eyes up to help you and Jessica in the midfield, as well as possibly help with the offense for Munster?
Well, there are some freshmen coming up who are looking to. Kendall Zeal is a forward, and then Cami Kikelik is a sophomore who will be helpful in the forward end. And then my friends who are seniors, I'm hoping to have them help me in the midfield too.
Personal goals for you? Should we give you a wrap up here, Kayla, for your senior year?
Hopefully, I guess, win sectionals and just improve as a player and try to keep the team. Improve as a team as a whole instead of just playing individually.
Outstanding. And Coach, your thoughts on the conference as far as the competition level? Obviously, the Highland game is always circled on the calendar, and you got a new coach over at Andrean now, and Colleen's Hobart team's always tough, and the rest of the conference.
I'm looking forward to our conference play. You got returning coaches, you have new coaches, and I think that it's just will still be a strong conference all the way through, and it's always a toss-up to see who wins. And obviously, we hope it's us. Every team hopes that that's the case. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough season between all the DAC teams and NCC teams. We have a tough season coming up. So
thanks again for everything, Coach. We greatly appreciate it, and I'll be in touch with you as things develop throughout the summer. And
Packers.
We'll try to get you guys on the air a couple times.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Val. Appreciate it. Val Flem, the head coach of the Munster Mustangs. Thanks again to Kayla and Jessica for taking time out of their schedules to join us here. We are going to be taking a break at the top of the hour, a little bit shortly thereafter. So if you lose the stream, don't be concerned. We have to make sure that we archive it and get it on the website, as we're going to move on now to 5959 Broadway here. Before we do, we want to thank J&J's Pizza Shack for giving us the great tasting pizza today. You must try J&J's Pizza Shack. It's located at 1454 West Lincoln Way, 1 mile west of the square in Valparaiso. They offer a variety of great tasting pizza, including their famous kitchen sink. Do you have pizza yesterday? Their menu also includes sandwiches, seafood, rib, chicken dinners, and salads. Dine-in, carry-out, and delivery is available in the local area. For delivery, give J&J's Pizza Shack a call at 476-1616. That's 476-1616. Same menu, still great taste. And we are going to move on with another Chicago Fire trivia question. This is for 4 tickets for the game on August the 30th against FC Dallas. So 4 tickets against FC Dallas on August the 30th. Again, we mentioned we're not going to keep things nice and simple here. So the first caller that calls me with the answer gets the tickets. Who is the coach of the Chicago Fire? Who is the coach of the Chicago Fire? 219-746-1070. We're going to move on now to Andrean High School. We're going to bring on the new head coach. Tony Pogorek is going to join us. And, Coach, congratulations on getting the job with the boys' side of things. And obviously some big shoes to fill, filling the Hall of Fame shoes of Pete Reese. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's something that's definitely always in the back of my mind, I guess you could say. I mean, I played for the guy, and I know how many years he's been around. You look at how many wins he has, all the success that he's had going into it. So it's definitely something. I look at it as a privilege, but at the same time, I'm confident in myself knowing that I can take us into the next step, the next phase of Andrean soccer history. So
now the one thing you got going for you is you've been in the program. You know what the expectations are. You know what the philosophy is of the school, not only being a coach but also a player as well. How do you feel that's going to help you now as you move from one side of the fence to the other, so to speak?
I mean, with everything like what we looked at, Andrean from the get-go, it's just these kind of morals and values and this kind of code that we live by. And so with me being a part of it, I mean, I've been in the building since a freshman, so I've had like half my life at Andrean working, whether a teacher or an administrator now. And so you have that growing up. It's instilled in you. And so it's kind of a lot of things like when we get started with the change, it's just kind of getting back to that, getting back to basics, realizing what Andrean is, what we stand for, and applying that right away to the soccer field. And then the other thing is I wanted to bring back a lot of that history. So, like, our coaching staff is rooted in it. We have Andy Masteller, who is a fantastic player. He's coming back as an assistant. Our goalkeeping coach was Joe O'Neill, who was another fantastic goalkeeper, and one of my first guys that I ever coached with at the goalkeeping level. And then my brother, Brian Pogorek, is another one of those alumni that's coming back. So I think with that, you got 4 guys who were a part of the program. We all had success when we were here, but we all at the same time kind of left wanting more. And I think that's kind of why we're all back and we have this kind of personal push that we want more than what we finished up with here, and that these kids here deserve more than we did. So we want to take Andrean soccer to a state recognition type of deal where we're competing. Like last year's success going to the semi-state game, that's just a normal thing when you hear of Andrean soccer.
Well, it was obviously a very special group of kids, Tony, that took that particular journey with Coach and gave him obviously just a memorable swan song situation. And I would imagine it's kind of a double-edged sword for you as well as for those alumni that are now part of the staff. You hate to lose all that talent, but yet with that solid group of kids, it gives these younger kids now some mentors and some success to look at as they move down the road and establish that tradition you're talking about.
Yeah. You lose all that, but at the same point, I think it worked out best for me because now you kind of have a clean slate. You got a couple seniors that are willing and open to the change. But the rest of the team, when you're looking from juniors all the way down to the freshman level, these kids are pretty much new. None of them have any varsity experience, so it's not like you're having a lot of clash going between this is what we used to do. This is kind of like all they know now, which is great for us. It helps us just get at it right away, where we don't have to worry about technically reprogramming. It's probably hardest for the seniors trying to have to reprogram them a little, and really it's just our captain here, Ted, is the only returning starter that we're going to have. So he's probably got the most reprogramming, but he's done fantastic with it so far. So, I mean, you hate losing those type of players, but at the same point, I've always been a fan of youth. And I've always been a fan of looking towards the future, and that's what we have right now, and that's what's really exciting.
Touch base, Teddy, on that adjustment. You probably went on the field looking around like where my buddies go, coming into the season. But touch base on that run, that great run through LaVille that you guys had, and getting to that particular point, almost getting to the cusp of an appearance in the state championship, and the adjustment now that you're going to have to make with so many new faces.
Oh, that run was just amazing. Just playing every single minute of those games and then putting that last ball in for Mike in the regional final to assist him, and he put it in, and that was just so much fun. And I'd love to go back. We really want to go back. I know it's going to be tough. We're going to have a tough road, but I'm really excited with the young players we have and the talent we have.
Well, certainly you're doing leadership not only on the field but in the classroom as well, Ted. Rated 21st in your class with a 4.07 grade point average. And has Coach got you pretty much in the same role that he had last year? Is he asking to be a little bit more flexible since you're one of the senior leaders on the team?
I ended up playing outside back last year and a little stopper, but I'd be mainly playing center back this year, and I'll adjust whatever he wants me to do. I'm very versatile. I've played center mid. I've played basically everywhere except for forward, so I'm really open to whatever he needs me to do.
Is that something that you've had to develop throughout your career, that flexibility, or did you have to kind of learn after being pigeonholed in one spot early and then had to kind of change your mental focus on that?
Throughout my whole life, I've really been moved around. I've really never been stuck in one spot. I was even a goalkeeper at one time. I've played every position. And it's just that defense has really been my strong suit out of all the times of all the positions I've played.
What's Calvin been doing, and what's he bring to the pitch and to help you guys win some soccer matches this year?
He's going to bring a really a solid piece in the back, depending on where he plays, though. But if he's next to me, I'll be trusting him with every pass I give it to him, and then I'll know what he'll do the right thing with it.
Calvin Heislip is going to join us here right now, 3.9, doing a great job in the classroom, Calvin, and discuss what it's been like for you getting acclimated to the Andrean way and the success that they've had, especially last year.
Last year was fun. I was actually a swing player, so I did go on varsity. I was there for that entire run, and it was pretty sweet. I mean, Pete